In Appalachia, one-room schoolhouses were the backbone of mountain communities from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. By 1910, almost every community had some kind of a one-room schoolhouse. Kids of all ages sat together, first grade through eighth, all in a single room. The teacher usually lived nearby and sometimes taught the parents before teaching their children. By the 1930s and through the 1960s, these schools started to disappear, and the beginnings of what would eventually be the modern school system started to take place. So states started to push for consolidation, and the idea was to close the one-room schoolhouses and bus kids to larger centralized schools. In Tennessee, for example, one-room schools peaked around the 1920s, but by the 1960s, most were gone. In Virginia, many of the last rural one-room schools shut its doors in 1970s. On paper, this was considered progress, better facilities, standardized curriculum, more resources. But in practices, communities felt loss. Children who once walked down the road now rode buses, maybe for an hour or more, to go to these community schools. Parents had less say in what happened in their kids' classrooms. They may not be able to communicate with their teachers. And those little tiny schoolhouses, which were gathering spots for churches, community meetings, dances, they were abandoned. They were empty. They were torn down. So for Appalachia, this shift from one-room schoolhouses to community schools, it really changed the makeup of society, because it wasn't about education. It was closing and shifting the way that communities functioned and interacted with one another. So when local traditions gave way to state systems, the outside decision-making from outside systems like the government started to hold more power, and that's how kind of we have the modern school systems we have today, where we really don't get a say in what's going on with the kids, and we have to do statewide standardization and rules and stuff like that. So it's an interesting thing to think about, how important those schoolhouses were to communities and how them closing changed the bigger makeup of society in Appalachia, by the 1970s. But yeah, my name's Casey. I study Appalachian history and representations in the media. Hit the like button, follow along for more, share to help my posts be seen by more people, and thank you for watching.